Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening on a Friday night. My name is Vibya Natana, and I serve as the Chief Operating Officer of Black in Saskatchewan. I am so pleased to be here with Mrs. Vinolia Apakoh of Akwaaba Foods. Before we get started, and I'll have Mrs. Apakoh introduce herself here. I'm just also going to acknowledge as well that although we are meeting digitally, I am joining from the traditional lands referred to as the Treaty 4 territory. The city of Regina is located on Treaty 4 territory, in addition to a large proportion of those communities that Black and Sask is populated within. And these are the original lands of the Cree, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. Today, these lands continue to be a shared territory of many diverse peoples. However, it is important that we do recognize all the benefits and responsibilities under these agreements. We as an organization acknowledge the harms and injustices of the past and present, and we also dedicate our efforts to working together in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. As we are all treaty people, we respect and honor the treaties made on all territories. We acknowledge the harms and the mistakes of the past, and we are committed to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous and First Nations peoples. I and the organization are also committed to turning our thoughts and intentions to being better and doing better. So with that, I would like to turn it over would you prefer during the session, should I call you Chef? Should I call you Mrs. CEO, Madame CEO?
Maybe just call me Madam Akwaba.
Madame Akwaba, I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, awesome.
I like that too.
Yeah, so just so everybody's on the same page, the Black In panel is a series of interviews and conversations really that aims to discuss and dissect relevant issues within the Black community, as well as spotlight the amazing work that's going on, the progress that's happening, and basically the stories that are happening within the Black community in Saskatchewan. So this live event is a series as well that's focusing specifically on businesses and spotlighting the entrepreneurs that we have in our community, the amazing work that they do in their various industries and sectors, as well as how they came to be in those sectors and also how they keep them sustained as well. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Madame Akwaba. To introduce yourself. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of sharing about your story and everything. So maybe just to start, tell us about who you are as of today, and then we'll take it back in time a little bit. So I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, so my name is Vinolia, and I'm a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. And I own Akwaaba Foods and Akwaaba Kitchen.
Okay, awesome. And then are you full-time at Akwaaba Foods, or what other types of work do you do?
It's so funny you asked that. I would say full-time. I mean, it's not, I have a 9 to 5 job, and apart from doing Akwaaba, and I would say Akwaaba is full-time because I do Akwaaba outside my 9 to 5 job. So
right.
basically it's like I'm working 24 hours, right?
I don't doubt it at all. So when it comes to, so we're talking about Akwaaba Foods here, but tell us what that name means and also how it came to be about. So yeah, how did Akwaaba Foods come to be?
Okay. Akwaaba means welcome. It's an Akan dialect in Ghana, and it's broadly used in Ghana. Akwaaba means welcome, and for you to be accepted into a home, you have to be welcomed. You have to have that Akwaaba feel before you can even do anything, and that's why we, I mean, took that name for my business. But I just wanted everybody to be welcome in everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Akwaaba means. And what was the other question again? Sorry.
So just like how the business came to be, because
Came
you
to
said
be.
you have another 9 to 5 job. I'm assuming it's in
Yes.
a different industry or
Yes.
different sector. So
Yes.
how did you end up being an entrepreneur in the food industry?
Exactly. I've always had that entrepreneurship spirit in me. And I can say that back, I mean, when I was even younger, I would do stuff. And years ago, I would say about maybe 21 years ago, I even owned a boutique.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I owned a boutique in the UK selling ladies' clothing. And to be honest with you, I always knew that I would do something, but I didn't think it was cooking because I've
Okay.
always loved to cook. I've always loved to entertain,
Right.
and I would make things for people. And Akwaba came to being, especially with the sauces. I started making the sauces. I would cook and people would eat it and they would eat the sauce. So one day somebody said to me that, oh my God, this sauce is so good. I would buy it if you would make it for me.
And what would you, so I know the sauce that you're talking about. For those people who don't
The
know or have
shito
never
sauce,
tried it, yes,
the
tell
Akwaaba
us
Spice
about
Shito
that.
Sauce. So I said, oh really? Because I would just make it. Shito, I would always make shito at home. We
Mm.
always had shito. I have shito every day.
Without fail.
Yeah, and I always cooked for my kids. I never, maybe occasionally I would treat them to a meal, but then I always made sure I had food in the house and we always had shito. So they always had the shito. And then, like I said, I love to entertain and I love to cook. So somebody came to me one day and said, oh my gosh, I always come to your house and eat this sauce and it's so good. I would
Mm.
buy it if you make it. And I said, okay. So I had few people asking me about it. So I started making it just for family and friends. And they would
Oh,
just
okay.
buy it off me. That's how I started it.
Okay, so just small within your circle, which sounds like then you have a really great group of people around you who are able to even reflect your own talents and strengths back to you.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Exactly. Exactly. And it was such a blessing that they believed in me so much that they wanted
Mhm.
to buy a sauce from me. I would,
Mhm.
to be honest with you, I would have given it to them for free.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it.
If they had said that, you know what, I like this sauce so much. Can you give me
Yeah.
some? I would give them out for free. But then they saw something in me that they wanted to buy it, right?
And
They
that really
didn't want it
speaks
for free.
to, yeah, that power of, like having those amazing people around you who are able to
Hmm.
elevate it, because now you have people beyond your circle of friends, you have complete strangers purchasing your product. So what is
Exactly.
that feeling like, knowing that your brand is out there in a way that it's bigger, so much bigger than just you at this point?
Yeah, and it's so funny that when I'm doing something, I don't just do it for the sake of it.
Mm,
I just put a lot of emphasis on how do I make it even better.
well,
You
yeah.
understand? And then I learn. I learn from what maybe other people have done. So when I started making this, I said to myself that I need to make it well. I need to um, not just because somebody, a friend or a relative is eating this, I'm just making it. It's homemade. I make
Right.
them in small batches.
Okay.
But then I had to do it well by educating myself more
Mm.
into how to make it better.
And that's
So
really interesting because, like I think with the traditional foods, oftentimes there's that perception that once you have it, the ancestors have blessed you with the secret recipe,
exactly,
and there's no improvement beyond the
exactly,
original.
exactly. I had my own recipe. I learned those recipes from my mom, my
Mm.
aunties were even giving me tips and stuff like that. But then, back home, when you're cooking, there's no, I mean, when I was learning how to cook from my own mother, my mom, they wouldn't even measure the spices. They know what to put in, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how I learned it. So
Wow.
I said, you know what, I need to educate myself. So I had to go and do food safety course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to SHA, Saskatchewan Health Authorities, and I went on a course to learn how to handle food safely.
Hmm.
Because if I'm making this for somebody else to eat, I don't know who else is going to eat it from that person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to go beyond, because somebody is going to buy it and then somebody else is going to taste it and another person is going to eat it. So I needed to be careful who is eating what and how safe they can eat the sauce,
For
right?
sure. Yeah. And I really love that, like that spirit of constantly learning and elevating not only the brand, but your own, knowledge of everything was really something that was important to you.
Mm.
And when it comes to the business side now, so it's one thing to be, selling the food from your home and everything, but now commercializing it to the point where how many store locations is it now located in?
Oh my goodness, I've even lost count, and
Lost
it's
count.
I'm adding more and more. Last week, I was no, about 2 weeks ago, I got into two stores in Saskatoon,
Wow.
Pitchfork,
Congratulations.
yeah, Pitchfork Market and Kitchen, and I got into Old House. It's like a small boutique, and you
Wow.
find unique stuff in there. It's awesome, and I'm even I'm in Edmonton, I'm in Calgary.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so you're expanding across Canada at this
yeah,
point.
and I'm in at the co-op, two co-op stores in Regina,
Wow.
and other stores in Regina. I've just lost count of them, but you know what? It's just a blessing. Even when I did my food safety course, because I wanted to do it better and then send it to stores, I had to go through um, having it tested into the lab. Had to go through the labs,
Hmm.
and and it's been a journey behind the scenes. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
say that it took me 2 years.
Before anybody even was able to purchase
Exactly.
any products.
Yeah,
Wow.
it took me 2 years
Hmm.
to get to even people to know Akwaba.
Wow.
Behind the scenes, I
Behind
was
the
making the
scenes.
sauce for people to eat it, buy it, but then Akwaba became Akwaba after 2 years.
So that
2 years
includes like
after that.
the lab testing, getting it
Yeah,
into stores initially, like that whole experience and that journey sounds like it could be the point at which a lot of people give up.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
why,
And
like,
it was
what
quite
kept you,
challenging. Yeah,
what kept
what
you
kept
going?
me going was people were still enjoying it.
Mm.
What kept me going were people were enjoying it. And I remember when I did my food safety course, I did the course because I wanted to do it well, but I did not even think about going beyond that. When I remember when I did the first course, and I was talking to my instructor, and I said, "Oh, I have this idea about making a Ghanaian sauce, and maybe, as I even use the word maybe taking it to the farmers market."
Mm.
And then he said to me that, you know what, for you to do it well, you need to have it tested. Yeah, you have to take it to Saskatoon, to the food center, to have it tested, and then you can have your nutritional fats done and
Mm.
everything. I said, oh, wow, I didn't even think that I had to go through that.
Right. Well, most people don't consider all of those,
No,
regulations around distributing food and all of that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and that's how sorry, and he gave me so much information as to get it to the food center. But there's so much that I had to also dig into how to even get it there. It was nerve wracking. I didn't know where to
Wow.
start.
So then how did you end up figuring out the steps? Because if you, for example, don't have a particular licensing or something along the way, that major roadblock would set you back even further. So where did you get the information then to kind of keep
I
things
just
going?
went to the food center
Oh,
website
okay.
to
Okay.
dig for some information, and I called them
Yeah.
and I said, "This is what I have, and what do I do?" And they had to they walk through with me what to do and how to get it tested. And I would say that it was challenging just because I use I use domestic stuff and also imported stuff. And
Right.
some of this imported stuff is not even known to Canada, right?
Yeah. Mysterious spices.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because the smoked fish and shrimp that I use for making my sauces, I source them from Ghana.
Mm,
And I don't want to make them here because if I make them here, it's not authentic anymore.
right. For sure.
So they had to test them. They had to make sure, where is this thing coming from?
Yeah.
So it was challenging, but in the end I got there
In the
with
end
it.
you got there, yeah, and thank God you did, because it's an amazing product. And I think for from an outsider's view as well, just seeing the way that you've been able to expand your brand to the point where I see Akwaaba foods on social media, and I see people from outside of the Black or African communities enjoying it with other international cuisines and blending it and bringing Ghanaian culture to the world. That's just amazing in itself. Such an
Thank you.
amazing feat. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess one of the main things as well that I think a lot of people want to know from entrepreneurs, especially successful entrepreneurs who are balancing many other hats. You mentioned, your mom, your grandmother, your full-time employee as well. So when it comes to the important things to know about managing a business that nobody tells you, what would you say those were for you, that you were surprised by or that you encountered over your journey?
Can you elaborate on that again?
For
Sorry.
sure. Yeah. So, what were some different things, I suppose, that you were surprised by, or that you wish somebody had told you before you got into it? Because I'm sure that it can seem glamorous, like on the outside, like I see the logo for Akwaba Foods, I see how smoothly it runs now. But when you
Mhm.
talk about those 2 years behind the scenes, I'm kind of like, I didn't know that you went to get this sauce tested. I thought somebody, people were giving you their personal reviews and you took it from there, especially to the farmers market and things like that. So when it comes to, yeah, just kind of things that people didn't tell you, this could be technical things about running a business, or even just like emotional things when it comes to the balance of your other hats. What were some things that you wish somebody told you, or that you ended up learning that you were surprised by?
I would say the journey. When you have passion for something, you just want to do it, right? You don't think about what is going to happen along the way. But one of the things to be honest with you, it's been a journey, and it's been like ups and downs.
Hmm.
But I have enjoyed um, every stage of it because of the passion
Yeah.
I have for what I'm doing. So what happens is that when something happens along the way, as much as I, it gets me down, I just want to know what's next.
What's next? Yeah. Yeah.
So in you know what when I don't want to deviate from the question, but what I would mean this journey, I wouldn't say that what were some of the things that I wasn't told, but I would say that it's been an interesting journey because I want to know what next. Nobody, when you embark in things like that, there's nobody can tell you that this is how you want to do, you need to
Mm,
do it. This is
yeah,
what the next stage is going to be. Everybody's story is different,
for
right?
sure. Yeah.
In every business, even the same, if somebody has the same business as mine, their journey would be different from mine.
Right.
So I don't even know what to um I would say that I don't even know how to even answer this.
No, and that's okay too, because I feel like, from what I'm hearing from what you just said here, it's very personal to your growth as an individual as well.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's difficult to say that, oh, I wish somebody had told me this. Okay,
Mm,
I will use a typical example. because it's a shito sauce. Shito is it's a mainly Ghanaian sauce. It's mainly Ghanaian. And like I said, I use domestic and imported stuff.
Right.
Some of the spices that I use in my sauces are not sourced from Canada. Like I said, my smoked fish and shrimp. So did I know that they were going to test those shrimps and fish? I knew they were going to test it, but it's coming from Ghana, it's coming from Africa. They want to know what it is. So I had to even pay extra money for those things to
Wow.
be tested, because they had to take it beyond the lab,
Right.
because it's fish, it's shrimp, and it's not. And with the nutritional fat, they have to know the nutritional fats from what you're using to even come up with your nutritional fats.
Now you have to go and explain what river this fish came from to these people.
Exactly. What fish is this?
Yeah, yeah.
Where did it come from? Where was it manufactured? What
Right.
so these are some of the things that nobody can tell you.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't even want to use the word I wish somebody had told me. But you know what? It was a challenge, but I just wanted to know what is going to happen next.
Wow. Yeah, no, and that's great though, because I think like even from what I've been seeing from some of these other Black entrepreneurs that are really successful in Saskatchewan here is that there isn't a template for for what a lot of you are trying to do, and adding on to it the fact of it being something that's very Ghanaian in itself, very authentic. I think that that takes a lot of courage, to
Yes,
be
it
able to be
does.
confident to bring that out to the market. So there's so many questions. I think there's so many questions when it comes to the design of the business and just how you were able to get here. But I think another major kind of thing is for those who are in that beginning design phase. I could say, what were some advices or things like that that
Mm,
you'd probably want to send their way. But I think more than that is words of encouragement. I think
yeah,
that in recent years, it's been so exciting to see you grow with Akwaaba Foods, new menu items added, new growth and new ventures beyond just Regina and that sort of thing. But I'm sure that, like you were saying, there were so many hurdles that you overcame that nobody would know about, right? So when
yeah.
it comes to navigating that and putting yourself out there, regardless of the industry that you're in, what kind of advice would you give to anyone considering becoming an entrepreneur such as yourself?
You know what? You have to believe in yourself.
Mhm.
That is the one thing. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to just believe in yourself, because it's a journey, right? You could even go to the banks, the bank will say no, but you know what you have. Somebody could try your product and say that, I don't like it. Somebody else will like it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just have to believe in yourself, and in the process too, you have to have an input in the process. I had an input in my designing of my labels.
And they turned out beautiful.
I had an input because I didn't want my designer to tell me that this is what is good for you. Yes. But I know my product and I know the story I'm telling out there. So you have to just have a lot of input in it. And to be honest with you, I give my kids a lot of credit too.
That's
When
amazing.
we were designing this, I involved them. I would make something and send it to Danielle, to send it to Julian and my husband, and I'll say, "Oh, what do you think about this?" So it's just believing in yourself, and then the people who believe in you, just making sure that you are involved in every decision you are making in the business.
Mhm. Yeah. And well, you have to remove your ego, it sounds like, as well, because when you're putting yourself out there to your family, you're trusting them with your vision in a way. So when you get that feedback, was that easy for you at that point because you had been sharing your food with people for so many years that
Mm.
receiving feedback, whether, well, I'm sure it was overwhelmingly positive, but
Yeah.
receiving feedback, was that easy for you to incorporate or did you?
It was. I
Yeah.
would say it was. Even to be honest with you, I started Aquaba Foods with just the sauces. And then last year, the pandemic hit. I knew I
Mm.
was, when I started Aquaba Food, just the shito sauces, I knew I was going to make something else like with it. And then when the pandemic hit, I said to myself, oh my gosh, people are home. That's
Yep.
how Aquaba Kitchen started.
Oh,
That's
really?
how the food,
Okay.
yeah. And
Wow.
to be honest with you, the pandemic grew my business.
Let's just pause on that note for anybody who's watching this or in the future. If you're wondering about roadblocks, and what that can mean for you, Madame Akwaba has said it. The pandemic grew her business. Okay, please
Big time.
continue.
It grew my business
Wow.
big time. And then February this year, I had the opportunity to be interviewed in during Black History Month.
Yes, that was an amazing feature.
CTV Morning Live found
Mhm.
me and contacted me to showcase me during Black History Month. And and then boom, my business grew again. And to be honest with you, within Regina, after the show, I had so many people contacting me that, oh my gosh, I've been to your home country before. I lived in Ghana and I didn't know that I could get a Ghanaian food. And because Akwaba is so unique,
Mhm.
people knew that, oh, this is a Ghanaian business.
Yeah, that taste of home. I've heard that from many, many people who
Yeah.
are, like it's so easy to get certain cuisines, but specifically and authentically Ghanaian food, it's hard to find in Saskatchewan. So
Yeah.
it's a real gem in that way.
And these are and a lot of these people who contacted me were Caucasians.
Oh,
They were
interesting. Okay.
Canadians who had lived
Yeah.
in Ghana and
Wow.
didn't have a clue that they could even get something like that here in the city.
Right. No, that's just amazing, and I really think as well, like not only are you elevating yourself in that sense, but also your entire community, just by way of bringing light onto the fact that you're here and you're present and you're active, contributing members of our local community here in Saskatchewan and in Regina, which is just beautiful.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Regina has been a blessing. And Akwaba, because of, I mean, Akwaba is even giving back into the community. I make free meals to city kids, and they help not they help families in North Central Regina. And we make the first meal we made for them. We made 103 boxes of meals
For those kids.
for those kids
Wow.
in North Central. And I've partnered with City, Aquaba has partnered with City Kids just to give back into the community. And these are the same community which is helping Aquaba, right?
For sure. So yeah, like that's amazing. Like now it's beyond just commercializing and
Mm-hmm,
distributing to all these stores, but also the
mm-hmm.
social advocacy piece as well, which is huge. So now, and then also the the menu that's expanding during the pandemic, which I'm still blown away by. Like that was the period in which you experienced so much growth. But what's next then? Would you say? Like, are you at this point looking to scale what you currently have, or do you have larger plans for where you see Akwaba in 5, 10 years?
You know what? The Aquaba has a lot of plans. And I would say that I will leave this here, but people should just watch out for
Or what?
Aquaba in the next year.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
They should just watch out. We have something very exciting coming up soon. And
No spoilers that you can give our viewers today?
I would just say that Akwaba will be a household name.
Wow. No, I believe it and I look forward to it because it's already a household name at my house. So I'm hoping that for everyone else, they're not missing out
Yeah,
on this
I
name
would
as
say
well.
that Akwaba in the next 5, 10 years, I'm hoping that Akwaba will be a national household name in Canada. Yeah.
No, that's amazing,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for when that happens. I think, you're already spinning the wheels towards that, so it will just be exciting to continue to see it expand and to bring people together. Because I think truly the name is reflected in the way that you do business. Bringing people
Yeah.
together of all backgrounds is something that's just so beautiful to see through the work that you do. So I guess on that note, then. Where can people find you and get in touch with you or make orders and purchase the product? If you just wanted to share a little bit about some of that contact information, and then we'll probably start to close off here.
Okay. Yeah. We on Facebook, Akwaaba Foods. We on Instagram, Akwaaba Foods, and we have an online store. The online store is mainly for the sauces.
Oh,
It's akwabaspice.com. And I would tell people to visit our online store. We tell a story. The sauces are all about telling a story.
hmm,
What our journey is. Our online, we have a very beautiful online store that tells so much about the sauces and how where it comes from and everything. And with Akwaba kitchen side, you can just order meals from Instagram or
yep, and
DM,
it's very
yeah,
easy.
Instagram, yeah. And then a lot of people ask me, why don't you do it Monday to Friday, Monday, like every day?
Right.
My meals are made fresh.
Hmm,
All my meals are made fresh from even the spices that I use. And my marinade are made by myself. So I open for orders between Monday to Friday, and I close my orders on Friday so that I know what I'm making on the Saturday for
right.
delivery or pickup, because I want people to eat fresh.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can order our meals on Instagram and Facebook and our sources from our online store, or I mean, our Instagram and Facebook has information where you can even have get our sources from. Yeah.
That's perfect. And those sauces can keep you, well, tide you over from Monday to Friday until we're able to get you over the weekend. So that's perfect. I mean, I think I tried the sauce with the Shito sauce with a Tim Hortons sausage bagel, and I was like, this
Oh,
bagel is like so it's lacking everything. So I was over with some friends, and I was like, let me just try a little bit and see how Tim Hortons, if you're ever watching this in the future, please include Akwaaba Foods in your vision for the future, because I really do believe that this is going somewhere, and I'm so excited to see that and to see you continue to grow. And thank you so much as well for taking the time to encourage our community and also just give some insight into your journey and who you are as well.
thank you so much. And I want to add something to it. You know, the
For
Shito
sure.
sauces, Akwaba is the first company to make a vegan Shito sauce.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another huge first. That's
There's no
amazing.
vegan Shito sauce out there on the market. We are the first to have a vegan Shito sauce. Yeah.
Wow.
And this was inspired by my own daughter, Danielle, who loved, who Danielle had, well, I mean, my kids had Shito in all the time, and Danielle became vegan. So she inspired me to make the vegan sauce. She said, Mom, I can't eat the ones with the smoked fish and shrimp. Can you
Right.
make a vegan Shito sauce? And so I started making my own inquiries how to make the vegan sauce. If I tell you how many sauces I threw out because I didn't hit it until I
Wow.
found the recipe, and I
Yeah.
took it for testing and it passed. And I started
Hmm.
putting it on the market. And the vegan sauce is it's become one of my popular ones now.
Right. And like I have said, like being able to extend this to everyone. There's
Mm,
no barriers to
no,
Shito
no,
aside from, just missing the opportunity
yeah,
to purchase it. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So I
Thank you
think,
so
yeah,
much.
that's something for people to know as well. If you're vegan, this is also a great addition to your meal plan and your pantry. So make sure that you get on that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other final words, final things that come to mind that you'd like to share? What's on the menu for this weekend or anything?
For this weekend, it's just our regular menu that people know. They should just visit our Instagram and check it out, and yeah, and then order some food. And what I would say is that people, I mean, people should just be should watch out. Akwaba has got some big news to make next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they should just watch out to as to what is coming up, and then we're still delivering, I mean, good meals to people. So yeah, that's all I would say.
That's perfect. Well, Black and Sask is super, grateful to our community members and just inspired by the work that you continue to do, and the way that you give back through everything that you do. So, panels like this as well not only elevate your business in some ways, but then also mostly it's us learning from all that you do as well. So if you're watching and you love this kind of content, feel free to as well give us a follow. We're looking forward to having more conversations like this. You can reach us at Black and Sask on the social media platforms that you like to use. And we'll look forward to speaking with all of you very soon. So thank you so much, Madame Akwaba, and everyone else for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
And thank you too for having me. And then I would say that Black and Sask, you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Okay. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.